Coming to you from Investor Town Hall's headquarters in San Diego, California, I'm Daniel Wong. On today's program, we have the leading provider of global mobile connectivity, iPass, a SaaS company with the largest Wi-Fi network around the globe. Stay right there. We're talking about what investors need to know and discuss iPass's recent airline deal extension earlier this month. NASDAQ ticker IPAS. We have both iPass President and CEO Gary Griffiths and Patricia Hume, Chief Commercial Officer, connecting with us about the company's commitment to providing unlimited Wi-Fi access. Gary and Patricia, thanks so much for joining us today.
Hey, thanks, Dan. Glad to be here.
Thanks, Dan. Great to be here.
Well, let's start with a quick elevator pitch for everyone who hasn't heard about iPass yet and maybe hasn't heard the story.
If you know Uber, think of Uber for Wi-Fi. We're the largest Wi-Fi network in the world, but just like Uber, who doesn't own a taxi, we don't own a single hotspot. So we built a network of somewhere close to 60 million hotspots, 120 countries around the globe. We connect them all. We make it easy for our customers to be connected wherever they are. But we're a software company. So our software makes a hotspot in Istanbul, Turkey, look like a hotspot in San Diego, California. The experience is the same for our customers. What I miss?
Nothing.
Very impressive. Very impressive. That's a great comparison there for you guys. So, Patricia and Gary, you came into the company about a year and a half ago. What made you want to get involved with iPass?
Let me start with that one. This was at the time, iPass was the largest Wi-Fi network in the world. Now, it was a third of the size as it is today, but even at a third of the size, it was still the largest network in the world. And we had this belief, I'll speak for Patricia as well, that if you have an asset that is the largest something in the world, if you can't make money on that asset, then you must be pretty dumb. So we saw this as a huge opportunity that was underexploited, and we were anxious to jump in and see if we could turn this $50 million company into $1 billion company.
Yeah, and for me, I had an opportunity to work with Gary again. So I had tremendous respect for Gary as an executive and a leader. We work well together, but I'm also a fixer. So having an opportunity to interview with the board to come on to the role, the board said, look, this is a transformation. This is sort of a reinvention. And, that's kind of what I love to do. And it's proven to be so. So it's been a lot of fun.
Well, she's not only a fixer, she's very humble because what I wanted Patricia here for was her experience. She's been a CEO of a public company back in the day of the bubble. She was CEO of Vertical Net Markets. She ran all worldwide channel sales for SAP. She ran a massive business unit in IBM Lotus. She was same thing in Avaya, ran a very big and relevant billion-dollar business in Avaya. So to be able to take talent like that and bring it into a company that, frankly, is small and has had some trouble, but to have that kind of talent to turn a company around was pretty special, and we're very lucky to have her.
Well, that's very impressive. And the fact that you guys have that relationship and you brought into the company, you've definitely done an extremely good job with the recent developments here. And to mention some of those things, Uber, United Airlines, Deutsche Telekom, and recently announced another partnership with Ataturk TAV Airports. Can you tell us more about these partnerships and what it means for iPass?
Sure. So partnerships are critical for us. Today, as Gary said, we have 60 million hotspots worldwide. And the way we do that is, of course, through supplier network partnerships. Now, Deutsche Telekom is not only a supplier of ours, but they are also a channel to market. They resell our product for us across the DACH region, Germany, Austria, Switzerland. So that partnership is extremely critical for us. Uber, the partnership with Uber has just been a lot of fun. Uber doesn't own a single car. We don't own a single hotspot. So we're both part of the new economy. And the ability to present Wi-Fi at the Summer Olympic Games with Uber was really fun for us, and certainly very valuable to the people that took advantage of the Wi-Fi offer that Uber provided at the Summer Olympics. The Ataturk Airport is an example of loyalty, right? The airport realized that if they could provide access to 60 million hotspots to their loyalty flyers, if you will, this would add value. And so in each of these partnerships, it's all about the unique needs that our partner has in order to meet the needs of their constituency. It allows us to reach consumers. We do not.
Guys, it looks like
of what we do to market is realized through these deals.
Gotcha. We lost you just for a little bit there in the audio, but I think we got most of it there. So, but to get back to that, with these partnerships, as you talked about, when consumers get a chance to use iPass, what's the experience like for them? How do they know when they're using iPass?
Well, a consumer, an end user, we like to think of it not unlike cellular. In other words, if there is a Wi-Fi hotspot in the vicinity and it's part of our network, which good chance it is, you'll just be connected. We find the hotspot, we find the one that's right for our customers based on their usage pattern, based on the signal strength, the relative reliability, based on our data, and we'll just connect you. The whole idea of iPass is taking the end user out of what is often the hassle of connecting to Wi-Fi and just getting them online.
I see that. I think I understand it a little bit better now there. So definitely, what type of partnerships do you look for? I mean, the target partnerships you look for, is there a specific ones besides airlines and these types of companies?
Yeah, so it's about loyalty partnerships. So companies that want to provide value-added services to retain loyalty to their programs. So Zegna, the clothing provider out of Italy, has a membership program, and they provide Wi-Fi to their 20,000 members of the Zegna loyalty program. Yeah, we've closed a couple interesting deals with financial institutions where they want to provide Wi-Fi as part of a service to their premier credit card holders. Yeah, so we look for.
And then there's devices. Like
absolutely.
Hewlett Packard, very important partner. Hewlett Packard, for the past year, has been shipping iPass on all of the laptops and tablets that they sell in Asia Pacific. So if you're buying an HP product in Thailand, it comes with a year's worth of free iPass provided by iPass. Now that partnership is expanding from Asia Pacific to the rest of the world. So by sometime early next year, any HP device that you buy any place in the world will come with iPass embedded. You want to talk about Microsoft as well?
Yeah, so, when you use Microsoft Skype, it's powered by iPass. So when you're using Skype Wi-Fi, it's powered by iPass. We have continued discussions with Microsoft about, leveraging the power of our Wi-Fi across their entire portfolio. So there's lots of opportunity. Tata Communications wrote a VoIP, voice over IP application, taking advantage of our SDK so that they could provide 60 million hotspots for a voice over IP application. So it's quite varied because the need to be connected securely and safely around the world, there's lots of opportunities for us from a standpoint of partnerships.
And just to be clear, Dan, I should point out that there's really two general types of partnerships. You mentioned airlines, for example. There are the partnerships that we have. You mentioned United Airlines. We have partnerships with GoGo and with Deutsche Telekom and Comcast and Time Warner Cable. They're all on the supply side. In other words, we need partnerships so that we can get the networks, the Wi-Fi networks where our people want to be, where our customers want to be. Then there's the other side of the partnerships, like the Microsofts and the Hewlett Packards and so on, where we're extending those relationships to find new customers and to expand our business. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely amazing. I mean, we're talking, for our viewers out there, we're talking big names. We're talking Microsoft and HP. I mean, Uber. All these are very big names. And, for a lot of our listeners out there and viewers out there, we want to get them to really understand what's going on here, especially when we talk about the stock price. We were at 83 cents in February. Now you're at $1.63 as a high here fairly recently. What do you attribute to practically a double in the share price recently?
Well, yeah, that's a great question. The fact of the matter is that for about a decade before Patricia and I came on board, the company had declining revenue, year after year of declining revenue, and had not made a profit. We said that coming into this year, 2016, that we would grow the business, so we would have the first growth year since 2007, and that we would be profitable. Now, we've had two chances to reaffirm that guidance, which we have both times. And we also added in our last earnings call that this quarter, the quarter that we're in right now, we'll be generating cash. And that's the first time the company has generated cash in a quarter for longer than a decade. So investors, I would say pretty much universally, that investors bought into the strategy that we laid out a year ago, more than a year ago. But they said the strategy sounds great. Let's see the meat. Let's see some proof that it's working. Once we got to the point where there was confidence that, yes, the business is turning, yes, revenue is growing, yes, there is profitability, the stock started to move, and we think it's just starting.
Well, I think it's attributed to obviously your leadership there, and we always talk about companies. You can have a great company, but you have to have that core solid management. I think you guys have definitely proven that so far very quickly. Let's kind of wrap it up here with some near-term goals for IPAS taking us through the end of the year. Where do you see some of these developments going?
Well, it's we talk a lot about partnerships. There's some pretty big deals and pretty big partnerships, some of which have been done and not announced yet. So watch that space. Others that we very much want to close. We've been on a path of increasing sales in terms of our bookings. I'll let Patricia talk about that, but we were literally about 4 times first quarter bookings were about 4 times that of the prior year quarter. About on that same track going into this quarter. We expect that to continue. So increasing sales as we go through the rest of the year. I already mentioned the profitability, and we certainly hope to accelerate that revenue growth.
Yeah, we have built a very strong pipeline. It takes a little time, and then you finally hit an inflection point where the momentum is sort of starting to be self-fulfilling, and so it's an exciting time for us. We have a lot of work to do to get the deals in, but my personal view of the opportunity from day one when I started to where we sit today, I wouldn't have expected it to be quite so rapid momentum and inflection. It's been a lot of fun. It's been a lot of hard work, and we've only just begun. So we have a lot more to do to bring in the kind of revenues that we know we can.
Well, thank you so much. It looks like we're out of time for now, but we want to thank our guests, IPAS Inc. Chief Commercial Officer Patricia Hume and CEO Gary Griffiths for being on the show. Investors, you heard it. There's a lot of things coming down the pipeline. They've got a lot of developments. I can't wait to see what they're going to do. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks, Dan. Have a great weekend.
Thanks, Lenny.
Well, hey, Gary and Patricia, we look forward to having you on the show again very soon. We'd like to hear about all the developments. Love to have you back on.
We'd love to be back.
Awesome.
We'll catch more video interviews on InvestorTownHall.com in the webcast section, and tune in next time. Stay tuned for the next interviews here on InvestorTownHall.com. Also, make sure to join a stock board to start the discussion and get your voice heard. Investor Town Hall connects investors and companies building trust and transparency in both public and private companies. This is your chance to get your voice heard on our platform and share information with investors just like you. From equity crowdfunding, Regulation A+, to emerging growth companies, we are on the front lines in capital formation and entrepreneurship. Find out how the average Joe can get skin in the game. We put leading industry professionals front and center, giving you access to years of knowledge and expertise. Join the conversation on investortownhall.com and sign up for your free account today.